Hi everyone, this is Shiva Viram and welcome to my channel. This is session 4 of C programming we are going to have in this class, and here I would like to discuss some important instructions regarding C programming. First of all, let me explain you the objectives of presentation. So in this presentation we are going to learn about the iterative loop functions. First of all, let me define what is meant by iterative loop function. So these are certain instructions which are going to make a special purpose for us. These functions are going to repeat certain statements, certain block of statements until certain conditions are satisfied. So many types of these functions are available for us in C programming, like while loop function, do while, for loop. So basically these are the three important functions we are going to have, which are going to help us to have these iterative loops. That means to say that these functions are going to repeat certain statements until some conditions are met. Not only these functions, we are also going to have certain programs regarding which are going to illustrate these particular loops. First, let us have the while loop. The general form of uh, this while loop will be, we are going to have while under some expression. That expression could be anything. Perform these following statements. Means, it means to say that this particular function is going to fulfill, or it is going to perform this body of statements until this expression is being satisfied. As simple as that. So while this expression is satisfied, do these statements for us. So this is what actually the compiler is going to do for us. This is a general expression, general body, general way of having this while loop. So this is while, within parenthesis the expression, we have to write whatever expression that we need to have, and under these flower braces we are going to have the body of statements which are going to be executed until this particular condition is going to be satisfied. And here we are going to have a program in which we are going to check a given number is a palindrome or not. I hope that all of you are aware of this palindrome. Palindrome means when you reverse the number, then also the number should be the same, like 1 to 1. 1 to 1 is an example for palindrome, because you can have the same number from the both sides, from left to right and also from right to left. So let me show you the program here. So this is the general C programming that I have done with the mobile. There are so many applications are available. Even you can do the programming in mobile also. So this is one of the applications that I have downloaded from the Play Store. That is C++. Of course, I am going to provide you all this information in the description. So here, this is the program that I have written. So all these things are common. I am going to enter a value of n. This is the input n. I am giving this n as the input, and while n is not equal to 0. So while n is not equal to 0, it is going to perform these statements. D is equal to n percentage 10. N percentage 10 means we are going to get the remainder of n. So if it is 121, when it is here 121% 10, it is going to give us 1 as the remainder, and r is equal to d plus r star 10, and n is equal to n divided by 10. N divided by 10 means 121 by 10 means we are going to get 12, like that. It is the result and it is the remainder. So using these particular things, we are going to have we are going to check whether the number is a palindrome or not. Of course, you can try this program because everything is given here. So let me run this program. I am giving the title here. So already when we want to give the comment line, it is to be written under slash star and star slash. Already these things we have seen in the previous class. So here I am writing the title as C program to check whether the given number is palindrome or not. So once the program is completely written, now we have to compile it here. If no error is there with the program, we will be getting successful compiled, and after that we have to run the program. We need to enter the value n here from the keypad. I am giving it as 432, so we are getting 432 is not a palindrome. So again we have to run the program to give the another value of input. So I am giving it as 323, and the output we are going to get is it is a palindrome. So the program is correct and we have got the exact answers. So let us check with one more value of n, 656. Yes, it is a palindrome because from both sides we are going to get the same number. Next, let us go for the for loop. So for loop, how it is going to be? Here for within the brackets we are going to have, first we have to initialize the parameter. It is going to have three parts. In part 1 we are going to have the initialization part, and in the middle we have to write the expression. Whatever expression that is to be fulfilled, that expression we have to write in the middle. And here we have to advance the parameter, say I is equal to I plus 1 or I plus 2, whatever may be the requirement step. So the iterative step we have to specify here, that is I plus plus means we are going to increment I by 1. So for these conditions it has to execute these statements, whatever statements we are going to write within this parenthesis, flower parenthesis or curly brackets. These statements are going to be executed until these conditions are going to met. So this function is very much important for us. And remember, whatever function we are going to specify, there we should not keep semicolon. This particular thing is very much important while writing the program. Now here we are going to have a program to print the multiplication table of a given number using this particular for loop. So here I am giving the title as C program to print the multiplication table. That is the comment and slash include. I am including the header file stdio.h and considering the integers as I mean I n, and initializing k as equal to 1. Now I am entering the value of n as this is the for loop that I am using here. For I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10. So the initializing value where I am going to use for I is equal to 1 and I less than or equal to 10 means this loop is going to be repeated until the value of I reaches 10 and I plus plus, because we are going to have the table up to 10, the number up to 10. So this statement is very important, printf. So let me explain you this particular printf command here. Printf %d star %d is equal to %d. So here when we assign this particular statement here, the value of n is going to be placed in the first %d, and I in the second place and k in the third place. So here this is somewhat of important for us. And now we are entering the value of 7. So when we enter the value of n as 10, we are getting the table like this: 10 into 1 up to 10 into 10 is equal to 100. Next, this is the program which is going to explain us the sum of digits. Here we are going to find out the sum of digits using a while loop. So here, this is the program that we have written here. So briefly let me explain what actually we have written. While n is not equal to 0, r is equal to n percent. N is the input that we are going to give. N percentage 10. That is the reminder we are going to have. And we are initializing sum as equal to 0 here and as an integer. Sum plus r. So whatever remainder is going to come here, that is being added, and it is going to be a repetition process. So all the numbers are going to be accumulated here, and that will be added. Like that, we are going to get the sum of all the digits which are present in that particular number. So once we find out that sum, finally we are going to have it as a output display using this particular printf command. Printf, the sum of the digits is percentage d sum. So whatever sum is there here, that is going to be printed in this particular place. So once we enter the value of n as equal to 432, see the sum of digits is 4 plus 3 plus 2, that is equal to 9. So another value, let us try for another value. We are going to give the value of n as equal to 4322 and the sum of the digits as equal to 11. Now it is the time to deal the do while statement. This is something related to the while function, but a little bit different from that one. So here the general form of this particular statement will be like this: do the following. So first of all, we ask the compiler to perform certain statements, to execute certain statements which are followed by this do, which are followed by this particular do statement. And after that, while satisfying this expression, do these particular following statements. Here the important thing to remember here is these body of statements are going to be executed at least once, even though this expression is not satisfied. So that is what actually very important. The main difference between do while and while is, in the case of while, if the condition or the expression is not going to satisfy, the following statements will not be executed. But if you consider do while, here at least once these statements are going to be executed, even though this expression is not true. Hope the things are clear to you. Okay, here in order to check this, I am going to write a program to check a number is Armstrong or not. I hope that all of you are familiar with Armstrong number. Armstrong means when you consider a number and say some two-digit number, and if you find out the sum of the cubes, that should be equal to that number. Say if you consider 153, it is an Armstrong number because 1 cube plus 5 cube plus 3 cube, that is going to give you the same number, that is 153. Similarly, 407 is also an example of Armstrong number. So like that. So to check that particular Armstrong, we are going to write a program. So let me show you the program that I have typed in the mobile. So here briefly I wanted to explain you what I have considered here. I have considered n, k, sum and p as integers, and I have initialized the value of sum equal to 0 and n is the input here, assigning k is equal to n do. So do these particular following statements while n is not equal to 0. Here the important point to remember is while should have this semicolon symbol. So when it is used as only while, we should not use this semicolon, but when it is used as do while, So while satisfying this expression, it is to be end with the semicolon. That is important. So we are asking the compiler to do all these things. P is equal to n percentage n, sorry 10, means we are going to get the remainder here, and sum is equal to, initially it is 0, and 0 plus whatever remainder we are going to get, that cube we are going to consider. So each time again the number reduces by one digit. Again we are going to consider the second digit, the cube, and again third digit, the cube, fourth digit. So how many number of digits are there? That number of digits are going to be repeated here, and we are going to consider the sum of the cubes using this particular body of statements, and these things are going to be repeated until this condition is being satisfied, that is when this n is not equal to 0. Okay, and once the n becomes equal to 0, then this particular statement will not be repeated. This will come to this particular, the next statement. So in the next statement we have given, if sum is equal to k, if sum is equal to k means the n actual value, then printf it is strong, Armstrong, otherwise it is not Armstrong, right? So I am entering the value of n as equal to 153. So we are going to get the output as 153 is Armstrong. So I am compiling once again, running the program to give another input of 617. So we know that 617 is not an Armstrong number. Like that, you can give any number and it will verify, and it will tell us whether the given number is an Armstrong number or not. 407 is an Armstrong number. Even if you want, you can check it. So that's all for this session. So in this session we have learned all the different types of iterative loop functions that we are going to use in C program, and also some basic programs which are going to use, in which these particular iterative functions have been used. So that's all for today's session. Please do subscribe to my channel, like, share your views, and give me your valuable feedback. That is going to help me a lot. That certainly is an encouragement for me. And also don't forget to click the bell icon so that you can receive further notifications. Thank you very much, and this is Shiva Biram signing off. Hope to meet you in the next session.